Welcome to this look at new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. It's Wednesday the 3rd of February. We have new mods and we have some updates, but before we go into the updates, this is a slightly different one. This mod review won't be, but what I have done to accompany this mod review, I've done a behind the scenes video of kind of how I set up a mod review, what goes into setting up a mod review. Today's not too bad, there aren't as many mods as usual, and at the time of watching the mod review, well, it depends when you watch this mod review, that might not be edited up yet, but it will be joining it. If you're coming off the back of watching the build up, this is where I left off. I just thought I'd be something a little bit different. So anyway, the updates for today. From top left, Dutch Colony by Dutchfield, the map has had an update. So that's going to require a new save game. The Razol Toro RVH by Paolo 5090R, the Lizard NS900H by Agro Sketch, the Concrete Rollers Pack by Realistic Farmers, that has had a complete overhaul. I think for all intents and purposes almost a completely different mod apparently. The Gavile Bale Spike Pack by Consti LS and Fabul LS, and the Roadrunner Plus by Mantrid have all had updates today. And so, in front of me, we start off with the Milk Canister. This is by Daniel X321, Querty and Cisek. 1.87 megabytes download, 3 slots each on console. We've got 2 different milk churns, yeah, I think he said milk urns, no, milk churns. Nicely detailed, bit of rust and scuffing and damage. These don't have a capacity, they're not a fill level, they are simply a placeable decorative object. I like the idea of these on maps where sometimes around the cow barn, cow pasture, there's not an obvious milk trigger. I think it would be quite cool to put a couple of those, then obviously you know where it is. 3 slots each for the first ones, which then drops down. I guess is a little bit high, but then there is a lot of detail on them. You can pick them up, you can move them around, so as part of a narrative you could simulate delivering milk, I guess. Obviously there won't be milk in them, but you could go for a kind of a narrative device, if you wish. These you will find under decoration. There we go. 3 slots each for the first one, which drops down to 1 for each. They're 200 each to buy. And that's all there is to them, really. They're very nice. Next, we've got this. This is the Argus 870. This is by ShaRRDY. It's 4.95 megabytes download, 5 slots on console. It is a corn or sunflower header. There you go. It's designed for the Rosselmash RSM161. It doesn't fold up or anything like that. It's a regular corn or sunflower header. A few nice little extra details you don't have on some of the other ones. This doesn't come with a header trailer or anything like that. It is very nicely detailed. You'll find this under tools and corn headers. 32,000 to buy, 5.6 meters wide. It will run at 6 miles per hour. There are no color options available. You get it just like that. Very nice. The Argus 870 by ShaRRDY. Next up, we have this. This is the skid steer leveler. This is by FSM Creations. 0.94 megabytes download, 1 slot on console. This is a leveler for silage pits, silage clamps, bunker silos, whatever you want to call them, for levelling, as you might expect. This is found under tools. I don't think it's under levelers as well. I'm pretty sure it was just under skid steer loaders. No, that's not it. Skid steer loaders. There you go. Leveler LV180SK, 900 to buy. Options available. We can change the main colour to anything on that palette, like so. I will just check levelers just in case. Nope, just under skid steer loader tools. What I have done is taken the liberty of making a short clip, because this little bunker silo here, I needed to actually put some chaffen it, compact it and ferment it. So what we're going to do now is cut to this being used. So cutting to the skid steer leveler in use as I'm prepping this silo. I mean, alright, it's not a huge pile, but this is incredible. I am so impressed with how well this thing's working. I know we've got levelers, but I was already thinking, oh, how am I going to get this pile flattened ready for doing the mod review? But that's, well, if I tip it up that way, how will it go for going onto a pile like that? Yeah, it really needs to be kind of down like that, and it pushes the stuff forwards. That's brilliant. It's very easy to dismiss things like this as being, well, you know, what is this a leveler? Okay, it's for a skid steer loader. What's the point? There's 105,000 litres of chaff in here, and it is making incredibly light work of it. What I'm going to do is just open my help menu on my side panel, compacting 5%, but I am levelling it out because I was wondering how I was going to compact this because I'd put it in one big stonking pile. That's saying 103,000 litres because I think I've pushed them at the front. I wonder if I can scoop from the front. Again, it's just, I just thought I'd show you it being used, and it works very, very well. Pretty cool, eh? Because I thought straight away, skid steer loader, it's really small, not really going to have a huge impact. Now, it is designed for levelling. It's not necessarily a compactor, so you're not going to get a huge amount of compacting from it, but it levels really, really well. I mean, as you saw from the clip, it's not really, you know, much to it. It's a big old slab of metal work that you can raise and lower, and it works better in that position than it did in that, as you saw from the clip. But it's not a shovel. You can't really scoop stuff up on it per se. It doesn't have a capacity, but it does the job. Not bad at all. The skid steer leveler by FSM Creations. Moving on, we've got these. These are the silo bags, or silo bag, 0.19 megabytes download, 1 slot each on console. This is by SleutjesModding. They are aesthetic. When you cover a bunker silo like this, you put your chaff or grass in, compact it all down, then you cover it to ferment. In the real world, generally speaking, a silage clamp bunker silo will have tyres put on top, or silage bags, like sandbag type things. Holds the cover down, stops it blowing away, but also helps, not necessarily to keep it compacted, because you'd have to cover the entire thing. Normally the cover is heavy anyway. It is really to stop it riding up or blowing at the edges and those kind of things. So these are aesthetic. You can pick them up, you can throw them, and you can put them out over your bunker silo if you want to go for that kind of realistic look. Now, unlike sometimes when you have tyres that are piled up by the side, which you can use, because they're part of the map and that's where they're placed, when you come on back onto the map, they're normally still there, as far as I can tell. Now, I haven't saved this and come back out because this is my test map. Wherever you put them is where they should stay, because that will be rendered and saved as part of the map at that point, because if I've moved them from over there to here, when I come back, this is where I want them to be. So they should still be on top of your bunker silo. So again, if you're going for a kind of a more immersive feel, when you get to that point you've got to clear your bunker silo off, you need to remove those. Now obviously on a bunker silo this size, and if you've filled up 5 or 6 of them, you're going to need a huge amount of these. But it is, you know, something to add into the game, isn't it? These you'll find under Objects and Pallets. There you go. Silo bag 1, 2, 3. They're 25 each and 1 slot each. So however many you have is however many slots you use. Quite straightforward, really. That's by ShaRRDY. Then we have this. This is the Schuitemaker Siwa 180. This is 7.9 megabytes download, 5 slots on console. This is by MefiuFs. This is a forage trailer. It doesn't do all crop types. It will do your forage type crops. I do need to double check whether it does wood chips. But it will do your grass and hay and straw and silage and those kind of things. Nicely made, nicely detailed. I think it's an older design, because I think we've got a few of the newer ones in game already. This is under tools and trailers. It's not a loading wagon, it is just a trailer. There you go, the Siwa 180, 40 grand to buy, 35,000 litres capacity. Yes, it does do wood chips as well. Wood chips, total mixed ration, sugar cane, silage, grass, hay, straw. Options available. We can change the rim colour to grey, to silver. We've got the option of Trelleborg, Michelin's, Lizards and back. There are no options within those, just those 3 tyre choices. It's a nice looking trailer. There's no movement on the front section if you're doing, well, not that I could find anyway. Let's open my menu. L1, R1, L1, R1. No, because sometimes the front flap can move up and down if you're doing work with a forage harvester. Unload, L1, R1 and triangle. Back tips. Floor on the back rolls. It doesn't tip up. Unloads like that. Lights and indicators on the back. Very nice indeed. Schuitemaker Siwa 180 by MefiuFs. Next up we have these. This is the wooden shed pack. There are 2 in this pack. 5.23 megabytes download. 5 slots each on console. This is by Captain Onion and Filip Player 54. Fairly low, small machinery I would say if you're going to put smaller tractors in there. Things like bales, pallets, those kind of things. You might get something slightly bigger in this one here. Nicely detailed. Brickwork around the sides. This one's a slightly different wood texture to that one. But again, nicely made. There's no lights on these. So no light switches for me to find. Or not find, as the case may be. Both of these you will find under Placeables and sheds. The old renewed wooden shed is 8,000 and the smaller one is 3,000. There we go. Moving on. We have got the Placeable animated pack. This is by Sphinx. 2.12 megabytes download. 8 slots, I think it's this way around. 8 slots for the shed and 2 slots for the lift, I think. Nicely designed, nicely detailed. Doors open on the shed. A few bits and bobs inside. I love the OSB. I think it's OSB, not chipboard. Looks like OSB. On the base, a few bits and bobs in here. You can put whatever you want in there, or just hide from the wife. It's entirely up to you. If we come around to this side, see, this is what I mean. I'm sure people are doing this on purpose now. The light switch is there, so you can turn the light on inside. Hidden under the eaves. Why would you do that to me? I found it, Sphinx. I found it. That's the shed. And then we've got the lift. Now the lift itself does work. It does operate. And we do have the option here then for repairing, customising your vehicles. Immediately I thought, oh, I like that. We've had them inside garages. We've had them in workshops. I'm trying to think. Was it Alien Jim was one of the first people I saw use one of these? I'm trying to think now. But to have one that you can kind of place pretty much anywhere, I think is really cool. There is a but though. Over this side, circle, close that up, raises it. Animation's very nice, sound effects very nice. The picture on the website shows it with the pickup on. Now it's fairly narrow. So you're not going to get bigger machinery or very big machinery, and certainly you're not going to get tractors with twins and things like that on here. So I grabbed the JCB. Did not like the JCB at all. In fact, it didn't like most of the tractors I tried on it, which is a real pity. It works brilliantly on the pickup. Pickup's got a longer wheelbase, it just seems to work a bit better. If you've got a tractor with a longer wheelbase that's narrow enough, you might get away with it. Other problem I found with the JCB and a shorter vehicle, when you get out of the vehicle, just want to try and light up as best as I can, when you get out, that happens. You get out into the pillar and then you can't move. Yeah, I don't know how to get around that really, because as soon as you get out, you're right there on top of it. I guess the only way round... Oh, doy. And obviously it's going to depend whether you're on the Land Rover or not. It's going to be... See, this is kind of what I was talking about on the preparation for the behind the scenes video, because if I come at it this side, I'm not getting out into the pillar, am I? No. So, important piece of information there. Pull in this way. It still didn't like tractors, I'll be honest. It still didn't like tractors very much. But that is an important point then. If you're going to come at it, you need to come in that way with the trigger to the left, and then the up-down button on there. Anyway, these you'll find under miscellaneous. The garden house is 1,200 and the car lift is 2,500, so not that expensive. I know it does specifically say car lift there, but it does say the workshop allows you to create a spot anywhere on the map. You can customise your machinery without the need of a paid mechanic. I just thought, you know, as a narrative kind of thing, and I'm sure it will work on certain ones. It's just the ones I had out at the time, it didn't. But you know, that's by Sphinx. Moving on, is this the last of the mods? Just looking down my list. I think it was only 8 today, wasn't there? I think so. We've got these. These are curious items. I like the look of these. I like the cut of your jib, young man. This is the lizard field bin by SleutjesModding. 4.56 megabytes download, 4 slots on console. It is in essence a trailer, an auger trailer, auger wagon, chaser bin, however you want to refer to it. 19,000 litre capacity, but it is a little mini silo. So these can be transported out to a field, put down like that, so it sits on the floor, and in essence left by the side of a field. I love the fact you've got the visible like sight windows, so you can see how full it is, although that I thought that one was completely full. So that should be right up to there. Or maybe I didn't completely fill it. Where's the sight one on that one? Anyway. Very, very nice indeed. Because they're augers, they will do your main cereal crop types, and they will do fertiliser and seed. So I guess the idea of, you know, it depends what size farm you're on. You can have a couple of these dotted around the map with a bit of seed, bit of fertiliser. It's a mini portable silo. If you don't want to use it like that, it's a 19,000 litre trailer with an auger pipe. You know, it's quite a clever idea. You know, I don't know why I'm so surprised by that. It's a very good idea. Very nicely made. Detailing's great. Texture's great. We can open covers, so the top opens, allows a bit of aeration through. One thing I'm going to test, because I'm not sure and I need to double check, is going to be the operation of the auger. Now these you will find under tools and auger wagons. There you go. Field bin, 24,000 to buy. Requires 110 horsepower, 19,000 litre capacity. As I said, it will do your cereal crop types. It will do soybeans and corn, sunflower. Options available. We can change the main colour, which is the bottom section, to anything on that palette. As you can see, those are the options. So what we do, oops, missed completely. This hook up, and in that position, off we go, trundling around to wherever we want to on our farm. Then when we get where we're going, L1 and circle, lower it to the ground, and off we go. Now I'm pretty sure there are no other options on that. It doesn't rotate or anything like that. So lift auger wagon for moving and transport, lower auger wagon. Now to actually operate it needs to be pipe out, but we can open cover, which does that, opens those two flaps. Yeah, that is quite full, so it should be on the sight window. Oh, it's because it's on a slight, it's conical up to the middle, that's why. So it looks like it's down at the edge. So you can open and close the cover like so. And what I am going to do is, let's raise it. Because the one that's over there, I've got the trailer underneath it. If I back up to it as it is, it didn't give me the option to unload or anything like that. But it could be because I haven't done pipe out. So what I will do, let's back up to this one. Pipe out. Ah, right. Now if I drop it down, do pipe out and then disconnect. Ah. So it will continue to unload if it's disconnected, it just needs to have pipe out. Ah, that's it. I wasn't sure if it had to have the let's do pipe in. So what I'm now curious, just to make absolutely certain, in my head. So a harvester in the field could empty into it, and you know, you can have a couple of them by the side of the field, and you can empty into it until someone's ready to come and collect. Or you know, it's, you know, a small harvester or whatever it might be. You might only get 19,000 litres off a field if you're doing a small farm. It's quite a handy little thing to have. Doesn't matter which one. So what we'll do is pipe out, disconnect, pull forward. So if you leave it in the pipe out configuration, will it, if you just pull underneath it, automatically unload? Now we just saw that it did, but I want to just, you know, imagine I've driven away, I'm coming back hours later. The one on the left is pipe in, the one on the right, as we come to it, is pipe out. Yeah. So it doesn't actually have to be connected with the PTO. That's only going to be for transport, opening the covers and then adjusting the pipe in or out. If you switch the pipe to in, that will stay like that, and when you come underneath it nothing happens. But if you want to empty automatically, pipe out and off you go. That's a very cool mod, that. As I've always said, something a bit different. And that's it for the mods for Wednesday the 3rd of February. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you no, give us a like anyway. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. And if you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.